Thank you. I'm here with Tom from IGN and Gary and Mark from 2 Point Studios to talk about 2 Point Hospital, a very serious game about modern medicine. Please tell us about this game.
Yeah, well, 2 Point Hospital is a game about designing and building your own hospital. There's a lot of customization, a lot of depth if you want to kind of get into the nuts and bolts. But it's set in a slightly
twisted,
world.
skewed world. Yeah. Nothing takes itself too seriously.
And this is a successor to Theme Hospital, right? Which came out 21 years ago?
That's right, yeah.
It's a continuation of our thought process. I wouldn't call it a successor because it's like a game we've made before, but that's because we had so many ideas and we wanted to sort of revisit that kind of theme, if you like.
We certainly wanted to get back to those little people games that that we
enjoyed making,
Bullfrog and some of the early Lionhead games that we be involved in. So studio formed to kind of go back to those kind of games that we loved.
We pulled together a team of people, some new, but some that have been around us for a long time. So the great thing is we get on really well. We all have this kind of joint passion to make these kind of games, and we brought in some fresh blood just to push us along, because we're getting a bit creaky, right?
And how has it been to revisit that? Because obviously you guys are going back to this hospital builder idea because you want to.
Yes.
So how has it been to revisit that, and like what have you been wanting to do differently, I guess, this time around?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things as you kind of look back and you think what you've learned over 21 years and what all the other games you've played and the cool things that other people have done. You kind of get inspired by other things that people do and kind of wrapping that into what we've learned. And also a different team around us as well. And those guys have added vast amounts. I mean, it's
in fact, a couple of the guys. In fact, one of the founders was a kid who was a massive fan, and he was one of the guys that said, "Oh, I'd love you guys to do this sort of stuff again." And he ended up being a really awesome programmer. And I just said to Mark, "This kid who used to really like the games we made, he's a brilliant programmer. We should probably get him involved with us and maybe do this again."
So this is both a revival from the original developers and a fan game.
Sort of, yeah. Why not?
Yeah, well, he certainly knows more about what
we've forgotten all the things we did. He just said, "No, you
didn't
do this last time." So he's been really helpful, really.
And can you talk a little bit about like the world of 2 Point Hospital and 2 Point County, right? Is where it's set.
Yeah.
You're not just staying in one hospital, right? You're going to a bunch of different hospitals, a bunch of different settings, that sort of thing.
And that's just not a level-based reason as well. We're trying to build a world with its own unique people, its own new unique problems, and diverse sort of climate changes, and things can happen there which are very different. So yeah, we wanted to make it feel like you felt in this region these kind of things can happen, and you can actually circle back to your previous hospitals when you've unlocked new ideas and new thought processes of how technologies can work.
So you're building a hospital empire, a healthcare empire. You start off small and you learn more, you research more, and you get more and more different illnesses as you progress through 2 Point County.
So you can go back with the things you found out later on in the game and play it with a different experience.
Yeah.
You get more different illnesses is maybe not like a great thing when you just look at it on paper, but
it's great.
Well, you go different regions. There's a power plant in the north, which is pretty grim. There's been an explosion at the power plant, and there's a lot of genetic illnesses you got to deal with. And as you encounter these different things as you go through, what is it really a sort of a tabletop
story? Yeah,
it's the world on a tabletop, really.
Well, so what are you dealing with here? You're not just curing the cold and like the flu and that sort of thing, right?
No, I mean we've got a community. We've got a backstory of people in the world as well. So if it's a very rich region where you've got lots of very influential backers for your hospital, you may have to look after people in a certainly different way than you would do in a less affluent area. So, and also, as I said earlier, with these kind of climatical differences, you just might be dealing with earthquakes and tidal waves. There's all sorts of things we're playing around with and we'll keep playing with as we develop.
Yeah, and I think the illnesses as well. We've kind of talked about lightheadedness and Lyme disease and those kind of things. And in fact, it leads us kind of nicely onto the clown illness, which is something which has been eluding us, a name. I mean, the way we kind of come up with illnesses is there's a pun in the office, and we can kind of build stuff around that. And some of them work, some of them don't. And this was one that we liked, but we just couldn't settle on the name.
Yeah, because it's kind of the idea with the clown illness is that these guys and girls don't take themselves very seriously.
Yeah.
They're kind of in their own world of stupidity.
And they're scary.
And some people are quite scared of clowns, right? I am. And they just don't seem to understand that, horrible things happen in the world, and this, life isn't about mucking around all the time. So the treatment is about giving them a reality check, putting them in a situation where you're kind of shocking them into reality so they can become normal people again.
Yeah.
But we just couldn't think of a name. and we thought, oh, well, what do we do? So we just had this idea, and we'll probably come back at the end and announce the winner. But we had this idea to get the community involved and say, look, if you can come up with an idea, because we're rubbish and we can't think of a good idea, name this illness, and you get it named forever as your name idea, and you'll be credited in the game.
Yeah.
So that was the idea around that. Do our job for us was the idea.
Yeah, clown
There were
sourcing.
some good entries.
Crowdsourcing game design,
It was actually quite hard to
names
choose
are difficult.
the final one,
Yeah, names are
on the list. There's some good names in there.
Did you get some good submissions? Though?
Really good submissions. A load of submissions. It was more work than we thought, actually, to go through all the ideas. But we got there in the end.
How many different diseases and cures and all that sort of thing are you going to encounter across this game?
It will grow, because we'll continue development.
Yeah.
It's not a box copy game like it would have been 5 or 6 years ago. But we've got quite a number. I mean,
there's over 50.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are, and there's a lot of different treatments as well. And some of them you need to research. Some of them you're going to need to upgrade because they're going to be pretty difficult illnesses to cure. So, there's a lot. And as Gary says, we'll keep adding more to them as we kind of think of the puns. Yeah,
as soon as we make them up, yeah.
Now, one of the things that's also changed in 21 years is the online component. What are you doing with that?
Well, we have got a nice light sort of connected experience where, it's obviously a sim game like this. You don't want to be bombarded by people griefing you. So we wanted it to come up with an idea where you can play at your pace, and if you want to opt in, you can actually challenge your friends and say, look, I've done this challenge. Why don't you see if you can beat my score and what I've achieved?
It's more social. We wanted to have more social play rather than sort of multiplayer. And so I think we're inspired by the ghost racing games. You do a lap and then you compete against yourself. And the idea of being able to do a challenge and then share that with your players. But it kind of works really nicely.
Yeah, it feels really synchronized because you get real-time feedback about how your friends are doing. And you can even send each other messages at certain points in time and send a picture of something you've achieved, and it'll come on your timeline. So you get a sense that you're actually competing moment to moment with them. So
I love that. It's like it's being a rival administrator a county over, basically.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a certain role play element there. You're just you're another obnoxious bureaucrat.
But it's just enough. It's just enough to make you feel like you're in competition.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's worked really well.
So no hospital royale, though.
No, we don't shrink the walls of the hospital down till eventually there's only one doctor.
I mean, that's not a terrible idea.
I like it. Let's do that.
That'll
Aggressive
be the next
budget cuts.
We'll get there,
but what about, this is a primarily PC game, is that right?
At the moment, I mean, whatever platform we would have chose, we like PC. It's a great platform to develop for. But we would have just stuck with one platform to start with to really find the game, rather than think across too broadly, because then you're really just spreading your bets a little bit. And it's difficult to make a great experience when you're having to think about so many different.
Yeah, there's enough to think about with just one platform. Yeah. And we'll see how people feel about it, and then maybe think
Let's
about
make a great game first, and if we do a good job, then we can think about where it goes after that.
One thing we spoke about actually a while ago when you guys were at the IGN offices was this funny sort of chicken and the egg situation you guys had with other games that have kind of been inspired by Theme Hospital. One of the ones that came up was Prison Architect, and I loved hearing the idea that Prison Architect probably wouldn't have existed without Theme Hospital, and then you guys said 2 Point Hospital wouldn't have existed without Prison Architect.
It's weird, isn't it? It's true. We didn't know whether what we were passionate about was actually what everyone else out there was passionate about, and they just proved that the kind of games we love making were still relevant.
Yeah, so I mean, not that we particularly look like the game, but it's I think
it's got the right ethos.
Prison Architect
Yeah,
was a fun game, quite a serious subject, and dealt with really well. And I think their
Humor was spot on.
Yeah, just getting to market as well, the way they did that, inspired us to think, oh, we could do that maybe. And we actually ended up working with Sega, which was very cool for us. But our original route was.
We thought about self-publishing, but then we were too scared to do that.
Yeah, that's right.
We were too old to know how to do all that self-publishing stuff.
And we just saw actually the Clown Cure came up there. You know,
Yes.
got lured into the clown tent, and given a dose of reality, as you said.
That's right.
So I'd love to hear what ended up winning. What was the name?
Yes. Yeah. We announce it now, and thank you for letting us take this opportunity to announce the winner.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Many entries, many entries.
Yeah,
hundreds
lots
and
of
hundreds of
entries.
entries. And we had an eventual. Do you want to know what the name was? The winning name first.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well,
The winner is.
The winner is a guy called Joshua Rivette.
And the name of the winning entry for the illness is Jest Infection. Good, that's the response we wanted. Yes, dad jokes.
That's good. I like that.
Did you get it?
Are there any names that are not dad jokes?
No. Not that we like, no.
Is there a disease of dad jokes within the game? I feel like that could be.
Actually,
should be, yeah.
about 400 of the entries we couldn't repeat.
Yeah.
They were quite disgusting.
Cursed puns.
Really, now we know what our fan base is like.
Yeah.
The bar is very low, right?
That is
So-
fantastic. I love that you guys are actually incorporating your community. You're sort of getting field research out. You've got test patients basically.
Yeah.
When can people get their hands on 2 Point Hospital?
Okay, so definitely you can wish list us right now on our
Steam page.
Steam page,
Yeah.
and we're due out in the fall
Yeah.
Beautiful.
this year.
Yeah.
This
And,
year.
and there's bound to be more medical research going into it as the time goes on.
Yeah,
So-
we're going to
Yeah.
do some more experiments and then put that into the game.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be very groan-worthy. Gentlemen, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
by. More to come. Back to you guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.